Alright, hey everybody, so gonna go over valence electrons and energy shells relatively quickly here because we've already covered this. I just want to do a little review. So for our first part, we are gonna first label our periodic table and then find out how many valence electrons are present in the following atoms. So B, boron, C, carbon, and nitrogen, O, oxygen. If you want to try to solve these before me, go ahead and give this a pause. Figure out how many valence electrons are in these. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get started here then. So, I know that valence electrons increase moving left to right. That's why I put this arrow up top. Valence electrons increase moving left to right. So let's go ahead and write down how many valence electrons are going to be in each column. So this is going to be 1. That whole column is 1. This is going to be 2 because I'm increasing going left to right. Notice I X'd out the transition metals. I X'd out the middle. Don't care about those. We're going to go ahead and put a 3 here. Again, just going left to right. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So each of those numbers represents how many valence electrons are in that entire column, or that entire group or family, however you want to call it. So looking at this, find how many valence electrons are present in the following atoms. B, well, let's look for B on the periodic table. There it is, right there. I see it's in this column right here that has 3 valence electrons. So 3 VE for valence electrons. Carbon is next. Let's find carbon. It's going to be right here. I notice that carbon is in this column that has a 4 on top of it, so that means everything in this column has 4 valence electrons. So carbon must have 4 valence. Move over. Nitrogen, it's going to be right here. I see nitrogen is in this column with a 5 on it. And remember, I'm getting those numbers just by counting left to right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if you're not literally writing the numbers on, like if you're using a periodic table online, you can still just count left to right and know. So nitrogen is going to be 5, and that makes oxygen, let's look, right here next to nitrogen, 6. Alright, so again, you're just seeing that valence electrons increase as we're moving left to right. Each column or each group / family has the same number of valence electrons. So everybody underneath the 1 has 1, underneath the 2 has 2, skip a few, everything underneath the 3 has 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So scrolling down, we're going to find energy levels now. So energy levels increase as we move top to bottom. So we start at the top. Sorry for the dogs barking there. But again, energy levels increasing as we move top to bottom. So basically, everybody in this first row, this first period, remember periods are left to right. You put a period at the end of your sentence. Let's go ahead and label it. Everything in the first period, 1. Then we go down 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a bad 6, but 6. See if I can make a better 6. 6 and 7. We're not going to worry about these down here, although they would fall in up here about. We're not going to worry about that because we're mostly going to be asked questions about the top few rows. So finding energy levels, first is H. I see H is in this first left to right period. I don't even need to like really look. It's right next to the number 1. So H has 1 energy level. Next is fluorine. Fluorine is all the way over here. So let's just make sure we're staying really clear, know what we're talking about, and draw ourselves a little box going over to fluorine from the 2. So fluorine is clearly in the second period, so 2. Next we've got chlorine and argon. Those are actually right next to each other, so we can kind of figure them both out at the same time. If we follow over to figure out what row they're in, just look at our labels. It's in period number 3, row number 3. Just to make that even more clear, I'm going to put a little box. So going from the 3 over to chlorine and argon. So you can see that both of those are present in that third period, which means they both have 3 energy levels. So hope that helps. Let me know if you have other questions.